Good afternoon and welcome to week 13, your final week and webinar of Recruitment Bootcamp. Congratulations on making it to the end of the course. We appreciate you joining us today. We're looking forward to talking a little bit about onboarding, wrapping up Recruitment Bootcamp, and next steps. As always, a few reminders and housekeeping items here as we start. First, we are recording as always. We will be posting both the slides as well as the recording on the Recruitment Bootcamp discussion board following today's presentation, and it will also be emailed you tomorrow. Feel free to ask questions as we go along. And to take a line from the airline, sit back, relax, and enjoy this final webinar of the cohort here of Recruitment Bootcamp. If you do have questions today, use the raise your hand tool in the control bar on the right of your screen to alert our team that you do have a question, or you can use the chat or questions box in the control panel. If you think of a question afterwards, you can email it to Mariah at mblake@clinicians.org. And just to review the faculty once again, Allison Abe-Sacra, Mariah Blake, Ann Hogan, and then myself, I'm Suzanne Spear. I'm the Director of Workforce Development here at ACU STAR Center. And just to review again, our bootcamp goals. For the last 13 weeks, we have gone through the entire process involving building a recruitment strategy and a plan for those processes and building those processes along the way. You have developed relationships with members of your health center staff, as well as other members of your cohort on the discussion board. It's also our hope that you will continue those relationships with the other members of your cohort post bootcamp as well, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along, in today's webinar. So last week, Ann gave us a great presentation on the ins and outs of the on-site visits and interviews, doing some follow-up after those interviews, and then contracting with the candidates that you guys decide to hire after those site visits. So she went over the logistics and the itinerary. She went over what should be the logistics as far as who is going to make the reservations for the hotel, for the airline, and then also and then a well thought out itinerary as far as the types of visits that both the candidate and their significant other or their partner should be going on as well. And also some things to keep in mind for their visit. Any types of events that you guys want them to do while they're there, the site visits that you want to go on, the places that you want them to go on. And then she also went over the follow-up as the ins and outs of who should be doing the follow-up, when you should be following up, and how often you should be following up. Finally, she went over contracting. What should you keep in mind as you are offering your contract to your candidate? The types of items that should be included there, and then how that should be presented to the candidate with the offer that is being made. And now to the discussion board. So as you know, as you've been going through each week, go into chcworkforce.org, log into the 2017 Recruitment Bootcamp group and select the relevant week. I wanted to let you guys know that you will have access to this board post Recruitment Bootcamp, so you can continue to go and ask and utilize, that had been put there. Mariah was awesome enough to put all of the resources that we have here, all of the webinars and all of the slides on week 13. So feel free to access those at any time. once the cohort is over. And that way you don't have to go back through each week. They're just all going to be at week 13. And so you can easily access those at your leisure. Okay, so last week on the discussion board, we asked a few things in regards to site visits, itinerary, and the like. We are going to launch 2 questions. I know not everybody got a chance to weigh in on those. So we're gonna launch the first poll question if that's possible. Apologize for some technical difficulties. Okay, let's see here if we can try one more time. So sorry. Okay, doesn't look like we're going to be able to launch those.
Hi, Suzanne, this is Mariah. I think
yes.
I was able to launch the poll. It's apparently not showing up on your screen, but I'm going to leave it open for just a couple more seconds to get a few more responses in. Okay,
thanks so much, Mariah. I appreciate that. Okay, so the first question was, how many days do you allow for a site visit interview for position candidates? And Mariah, if you can see the answers, I would appreciate you chiming in and letting us know what the results of the poll were.
Sure. We had 50% respond 1 day, 38% responded with 2 days, and 13% responded with more than 2.
Okay, great. So it looks like you guys definitely have some varied responses there, and that's good. And obviously, all of these things are going to depend on your health center, the size of your health center, the type of candidate, and also the community in which you work and live. Okay, the second poll question, we're going to try this once again, is along the same lines of the first one. How many days do you allow for a site visit or interview for an advanced practice provider candidate? So these are either nurse practitioners or physician's assistants. So do you allow 1 day for those site visits, 2 days, or the same as a physician candidate? So we'll give you guys a minute to look at those, and we will we'll give you guys a minute, and then we'll have Mariah chime in and let us know what the answers are on that, or the responses rather are those.
All right, and it looks like we had just about everybody chime in there. So we had 67% say 1 day, 11% said 2, and 22% said the same as a physician candidate.
Okay, great. So again, there are probably going to be some differences in regards to the amount of time that you all are allowing for your site visits, but just make sure that you are, also, continually looking at that process to see if you're allowing adequate time. But that was really interesting to see, the differences between the physician candidates as well as other candidates. So thanks so much for weighing in, everybody, and thanks to Mariah for helping us as we move along with these technical issues. Okay, so we have seen this recruitment planning process ladder each and every webinar that we have gone on. We have walked through the beginning stages of the community and the team. So engaging your community in your recruitment process, and also building a recruitment team together and gathering those folks who should be working together with you during the recruitment process. We have taken a look at recruitment priorities, the types of candidates that you and positions you're looking to fill and the reasons for those, as well as the budget relating to those priorities. So, and then the next steps were looking at the different avenues for advertising your open positions, including utilizing recruitment firms, different places to advertise your open positions, as well as the good and bad of the ever-evolving world of social media. Then we talked about screening candidates over the phone, and then bringing them in for on-site interviews and contracting with the selected candidates. this brings us to the final part of the recruitment planning process, which is onboarding, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. When I was looking for a picture to put on the slide, I really liked this one because, you know, while you're not a silo and you're not, obviously you're part of your community and your organization is part of that, you know, really, you know, helping the person to come on board and be a part of the other people that are in your organization. I really like that. This picture is a good representation of that. I really felt like it did a great job of depicting this process. So, what is onboarding? Oftentimes, many times, orientation and onboarding are used interchangeably. The words are used interchangeably. And I would caution you and also ask that you be careful when using these two terms, because orientation is not the same thing as onboarding. They are two very distinct processes and should be looked at as such. Orientation can be, and a lot of times is, a part of the onboarding process, but it is a very small part of it. So please don't confuse them and use them interchangeably, because they are definitely not equal. Okay, so as we look at the definition of onboarding, if you Google onboarding, you will see this definition come up. And that would be the action or process of integrating a new employee into an organization or familiarizing a new customer or client with one's product or services. And I want to focus today on the highlighted text here on this definition, because it's what really is what we're focusing on. The key words here are integrating a new employee into your organization. As the slide, as the picture of the slide a couple slides ago, as well as this picture here, you are putting a piece of the puzzle together. You are wanting to complete your circle. You want to integrate the new employee into your health center. And onboarding is the process of helping your new employee come into your organization. While we'd like for it to, it doesn't just magically happen. I might be dating myself here, but in the old show Bewitched, the mother would just sort of wrinkle her nose, if you will, and things would just magically happen. Unfortunately, this doesn't, is not the case in the real world here, and it does take time and also a process to bring new hires into the culture of your organization. And that is really the key, the keys of onboarding is integrating them into the culture of your organization. And as I've mentioned a couple of times, it's definitely a process. So as we look at onboarding as a process, it involves a few things. And this might vary with different organizations, but really should include some of these key items. So orientation, as I mentioned earlier, orientation can definitely be and is definitely a part of the onboarding process, but onboarding is when the first couple days, when your employee starts brand new and walks into your door for the first time, you are letting them know what you're, going over all of their new hire paperwork, going through your employee handbook, enrolling them in benefits and things like that. And a lot of times this is done exclusively or mostly with the HR folks, that they are spend time doing the technical aspects of starting a new job and all that entails. Next, we have expectations. So what are the essential duties of the position? What is expected of your new employee, and how should you be carrying out these functions? So when your new employee answered the advertisement that you placed on LinkedIn, they saw the the outline of what was expected of them. But really what this is doing is, is reiterating that, and also making sure that you are clear about the role that they have within your organization and how you expect them to carry the duties out that have been assigned to them. Setting clear expectations it's really an essential part of the onboarding process, and it's also essential for both the health center and the staff member. If everyone knows what's expected, everyone can succeed. So setting clear expectations is setting your candidate as well as your health center up for success. So next we have integration. So new employees are probably going to feel like an outsider. And even if you are the absolutely most welcoming health center and you've started the relationship building process when you spoke to your candidate on the phone for the first time, and then you got to know them more when you took them out to dinner, when they came on the site visit, and you took them to the 4th of July parade that was happening when they came for a site visit, they're still, quote unquote, an outsider. So you're going to make sure that you are taking some time and building some processes and doing some things to integrate them into the culture of your organization. Many times, a new associate, a new employee is walking into a staff that has been together for months and years. So this is another vital part of onboarding your new employees, to making them feel like it's an us and not as the old staff versus the new guy, those type of things. And this is something else that is going to help your team be more productive. I know a lot of folks out there in this cohort are probably involved with PCMH activities. So making sure that your new employee is really integrated as a part of the team and understands, how everything works, that is really important in this process as well. And culture. So I mentioned when we talked about integrating into the culture. So the final, and I guess not final, but another part of the onboarding process is bringing the new employee into the culture of your organization. So how things are done, if you will, in your at your health center. Every organization is different and is unique and does things a little bit differently. So you want to make sure that your new employee knows how things are done and what is expected of them in the culture that you have there at your organization. And as you can see, as it's depicted here, with a great onboarding program, a well thought out onboarding program, you will have success, and you will end up hitting the bullseye with your team. It's going to make everybody on your team more successful. Statistics say that a successful onboarding program will increase your retention rates as well as your bottom line. So working together as a team successfully will help your team see more patients, which again will increase your bottom line. So a successful onboarding program really is vital to the success of your organization. So I know that a lot of folks, this is something that is relatively new. Not that folks have never heard of it, but maybe your onboarding process hasn't been refined. So I would encourage you as we wrap up this recruitment bootcamp and you are finalizing your recruitment processes, that you will integrate an onboarding program into your recruitment processes. And I think that you guys will find, if you don't have one already, that you will become more successful in the long run because of it, and your employee satisfaction and your employee turnover will ultimately decrease. So with that, having talked about onboarding, we have now completed the recruitment process ladder. So congratulations. That's exciting. So now what? We have completed the recruitment ladder, but we want to leave you, now that you're wrapping up, or as we're wrapping up this process, we want to leave you with a couple things. As was mentioned in the email that went out on Monday, we are going to be assigning some accountability partners. Now, I want to stress that this is something that is completely optional. Some of the feedback that we received is that most folks wanted this, so we decided to make this a reality. And what this is going to entail is tomorrow you will be receiving an introductory email from me to you and another member of your cohort, and introducing you guys to one another and sharing your contact information. And so what we hope that you will do, or the actions that you will take with your accountability partners, is that you will let them serve as an ongoing sounding board / peer partner, and someone that you can network with. In the health center world, someone that you can bounce things off of. If you are down the road, are still working on refining or changing some of the parts of your recruitment process, and you really want someone to bounce something off of that is outside your organization, this is a perfect opportunity to email your accountability partner and bounce this idea off of them, and see what they're doing in that part of their recruitment plan. And again, totally optional, but we really feel like that this is something that you guys can take with you in addition to your recruitment and retention plan that will set you up for success for in the long run. We are always here for you here at the STAR Center, but we want to make sure that you guys also have a peer that you can work with in the future if you would like to. And then another next step, put your recruitment and retention plan into action. So we want you guys to, the whole, the big goal here at from the recruitment bootcamp is that you guys would have a completed recruitment and retention plan that you could put into action. So I know some of you have things that you were refining and you're working on, and some of you in this cohort was completely new. So take those, either that new plan or the amendments to your plan, and put it into action. See what it can do for you as a staff, and also as an organization as a whole, and what you guys do to serve your patients every day. As a wrap up, we will be sending you out once again your post bootcamp survey. So if you guys would take a minute to complete that, we would really appreciate it. And what we can do, what you guys liked about this 13 weeks, and then maybe if there was anything that you guys, suggestions for future cohorts, that was sent out in your Monday email, and it will also be sent out in your along with the recordings from today. Stay in touch with us. We have I have put up the faculty emails again here, and so contact us should anything come up in the future. And you can also check out all of the free resources that we have on the STAR Center website. And if you can't find it there, certainly reach out to us, and we will be happy to point you in the right direction. So again, congratulations. We are really thrilled that you guys have stayed the course and joined us today. And, we wish you guys all the best. And, again, stay in touch. So do we have any questions? Because we've got 6 minutes. So Mariah, do we have anything that came through during the time?
No, we haven't had any questions come in just yet. Are there sample physician contracts others are willing to share, redacted to keep out any sensitive information? I guess that's a question more to the cohort. in general.
Okay.
So I'll allow some time for anybody to chime in the chat box there, or feel free to jump on the discussion board after the webinar today. While we're waiting to see if anybody wants to chime in, anybody else have questions for Suzanne, myself, Ann Hogan is online as well.
And Mariah, I'm glad you mentioned the discussion board too, because I believe I talked about it when in the beginning part of the call here today. Your access will continue to the discussion board, so feel free to continue to use that as a resource as well as your accountability partner. But feel free to share any position contracts that you wouldn't mind sharing to the other members of your cohort there. I know that would be a huge help, just to have a starting place. Sometimes that's good, just to have a starting place, to a jumping off point of something, some things that you can include there in your position contract. Okay. Well, it doesn't sound like we have anything else coming in, but again, thank you guys so much for joining us on with Recruitment Bootcamp, and we look forward to interacting with you guys in the future. So take care, everyone, and happy holidays.